Now that we've completed the questionnaire training, we're going to move on to the Employee Census Data module. As a reminder, you can click on the quick reference guide in the top right corner at any time for a brief explanation as to what we're looking for in each of these modules. You can also select the 3 bars in the top left corner to go back to your home screen at any time. You'll notice on this page that the Employee Census Data is showing as in progress. Typically, when you're directed to this page, it's going to show as not started. However, I jumped ahead and added some of our frequent errors so that you can see what they look like and how you can correct them should you run across them. The Employee Census Data module is where you're going to spend a majority of your time. This is where we collect all of your employees' important information: dates of birth, dates of hire, compensation, deferrals, etc. Basically, all of the information we need to make sure that your plan is in compliance. It is important to note that we ask that you include all employees employed during the plan year, even those that did not participate in the plan. We recommend that you use our download template file provided to you to make sure that you upload the information back into the system in the correct format and with all of the necessary information. This is also helpful because any information we already have in the system will pre-populate into this file. If you have a small number of employees and you would like to submit the information online, you can select option B, Continue with Census Submission, and this will take you to the information we already have on file so that you can simply manually update it online. We don't recommend this in most cases because even if you have a small number of employees, the template file is going to make sure that you provide all of the information we need. However, we do know that sometimes it's just easier to do it online. I also like to note here that if you've already uploaded a census file and you just want to come back and modify it, you can click on the Continue Census Submission, and this will take you back to the information that you previously loaded into the system. This is going to come into play in 1 second. So when you download the template file, we recommend that you save it to your desktop because it's an easy place to locate the file when you're ready to complete it and upload it. Once you've completed all of the information and verified that everything from your payroll is in this file, you're going to choose to upload the file into the system. When you do that, you'll click Choose File. You'll choose the file from your desktop folder, which I will show you right now. I'm going to give our template file in here. And you'll see that now it's showing Census Andy Test as our file. And then we'd go ahead and we would hit Submit. By submitting, the system is going to cross-check and double-check everything that we have in our system versus what you've sent us to make sure that everything matches up and is complete. Now, what I'm going to do, since I already jumped ahead and loaded some of the errors into the system, is I'm going to go ahead and hit Continue with Census Submission. Now, when I come to this page, you're going to see on the right that there are some errors that are in the system. You're going to see that they're in red, and that's showing you that we do have errors. Now, you can look at these kind of one of 2 ways. You can either click on each of these errors, and it will bring up the participants that are affected by these errors. The other thing you can do is you can choose Clear Filter, and you can select these arrows over here to bring up to the top the employees that have errors if you want to look at them directly. Now, correcting the errors can be done one of 2 ways. You can either click on the employee and edit whatever the error is. So if I come over here and I see employed but no compensation, I can click on Steve Rogers and I can update his compensation. So I would just click on the Edit Participant button, and I would add in his compensation. And I'm going to add in gross compensation for this year, not last year. So we want to make sure you're looking at gross compensation for this year. So I would add his information here and hit Save Changes. I'm not going to do that only because I want to show you the other way that you can correct these errors. The other way that you can correct the error is you can select the red exclamation point next to the employee's name. Now what that's going to do is on the right, it's going to show that I've selected Steve Rogers, and these are the errors that he has: employed but no hours worked, and employed but no compensation. You will see that you can hit resolve errors, and then that's going to take you to the employee participant page to go ahead and edit the information. We see there are no hours worked and no gross compensation. You can also override, but overriding the information is only to be done in extremely rare circumstances. An example of an extremely rare circumstance is you have a seasonal employee that has not worked during the year, but was also never terminated. So they're still employed with the company. However, they didn't work during the current plan year. Anytime you choose to override something, it is going to ask you, it's going to tell you this should be highly exceptional circumstances. It's going to say, I want to continue with the override, and you're going to put an override note in here. Now, I'm going to show you this in a few minutes, but right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel the override because Steve Rogers did have hours and he did have compensation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select resolve the errors, and I'm going to say that he worked 1,000 hours and he had a gross compensation of $50,000. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit Save Changes. And what you're going to see is that Steve is going to disappear off of the errors. He is also going to not show up anywhere here. So now we only have forfeiture, but I know when I was looking at it earlier, there were more participants that had errors. So I'm going to clear the filters because right now I'm searching by the employed but no compensation. So I have forfeiture here, and I have Harvey Dent, and I have all of these errors over here. Now we're going to look at Harvey Dent, and we're going to try to figure out what's wrong with him. So we're going to click on the red exclamation point. On the right, it's going to tell us participant is too young, birthday mismatch. Now you can also hover over the red question mark, and it'll give you an explanation as to what the error is being caused by. So birth date mismatch, we have one in the system that doesn't match what you provided, or the participant is too young. Let's go ahead and choose resolve errors. And now to look at the employee's birthday, we're going to come up here to the top right corner, and we're seeing that it's 1/5/2010. Since it is 2019, we would see that that is not the correct date of birth because he would only be 9 years old. So I'm going to go back to my census file, and I'm going to see, oh no, this simply got typed in wrong. He was actually born in 1980. So we're going to change that to 1980, and we're going to hit Save Changes. And that has now corrected Harvey Dent. Now we do have forfeiture in here. Forfeiture should not be showing up on your census file. If it is showing up on your census file, please contact your relationship manager and ask that they remove it from the system. Some of the plans, when they pull in forfeiture, and they're not supposed to. So this would be a case where if I really wanted to move forward, what I would do is I would override this information in the system because they're coming up as an invalid social security number, employed but no hours worked, employed but no compensation. So in this case, I'm going to override it. And the reason I'm going to override is I'm going to say that this is the forfeiture account. So I'm going to hit Submit. And you'll see that the error has turned green. It has not disappeared, but instead it's turned green. What that means is that we have overridden the error. We haven't fixed it, but we overrode it because we didn't want to see it anymore. So we're going to do that with the next two as well. But again, if you see forfeiture, please just drop an email to your relationship manager and ask that they remove the forfeiture. And then we have one more here. Continue with that override. So now we have no more red errors. All of the errors are gone. If we try to sort and see, you'll see that the error now is a green exclamation point next to the forfeiture. One other thing I do want to point out on here, if there is a specific participant that you're looking for, you can type in their name in the search button. You'll just want to make sure, let's say I wanted to type in John. So John comes up if I wanted to look at his work. Now what I can do is I have to click this little teeny tiny X button to get back to all of my participants. So now once you've completed everything and you've resolved all of your errors, what you're going to do is you're going to hit submit. Now, if you would like to export the census file so that you have it for your records, you can click this export current census file, and that'll go back to you so that you can save it into your system. You can also select help at any time if you want the pop-up box to come up so that you can ask any questions and then ask if you'd like an email back or a phone call back. Hopefully this is fairly self-explanatory to everyone, but if not, we understand and we're here to support you. So now we're going to go ahead and hit submit. Again, it's going to ask us, are we sure we want to submit this? And again, I do want to point out that once the information has been submitted, it is locked. However, if you realize after the fact that it was missing information or something was incorrect, you can always contact your relationship manager and ask them to unlock the system so that you can go in and make any necessary corrections. For now, I'm going to say that I affirm, that I agree, and I'm going to hit submit my census. Now it's going to take us to thank you for completing, and it's going to take us to continue with your year-end data collection. Now at this time, I'm going to end this training and we will move on to the next training, which is going to be the Key and HCE Employee Verification. Thank you so much and have a great day.